guys. All right, the schedule is out. KJ, general thoughts?
Like it. In fact, I think I like it a lot.
Okay, that's it. We'll see you next time right here.
There you go. I think I like it a lot. Obviously, and we've talked about this, and fans need to be aware of this. You're going to need to play one of these preseason games or kickoff games once every third year, once every fourth year. The money is such that you can't afford not to do it. You're getting a reasonable opponent with West Virginia. They won't be highly ranked, if ranked at all. We probably won't be ranked at all. So it's an opponent that, you're not gearing up for like you did, in Alabama, like the last time you were there. You get an opportunity against a team that you should win, although you've pointed out, and others will remember, last time we played Samford, it was an almost.
Right.
And then we get to go to Boise, and I don't care what anybody says. I'm one of these old-fashioned guys. I like going places we haven't been before, and I want to see that blue turf, and I think the kids want a little bit of Boise for those that are still here for what they did to Florida State when they visited last year.
Yeah, so that's the first three, and the first three have been so critical the last few years because Florida State hasn't been in a good spot after the first three, so we'll kind of measure there. I'm not going to go game by game, but a couple things that people will talk about. So you have an early open date. It's the last week of September. I'm sure that Florida State had conversations with the league and could have taken the open date later, but it would have meant playing a road ACC game, which would have meant 3 of your first 4 games over the first 4 weeks of the Mike Norvell era would have been on
other than Tallahassee.
Other than Tallahassee. And so they said, we'll take an early open week. Let's regroup. We've been, again, to the point about the first 3 games the last couple of years, hasn't been too pretty. So you see where you stand. Then you get into it. You have to play 9 straight weeks. The other thing that happens, 2 other points. One, you don't have back-to-back road games at any point. You have at Boise open week and then at NC State, but not back-to-back weekends. You do have a Thursday night game at the end of the year at Louisville, so you'll have a short turnaround to get ready for Louisville, but then you'll get 2 extra days to prepare for Florida. There's no cold. I said Louisville. That's at Syracuse, if I misspoke. At Syracuse, November 19th. There's no cold weather games.
Well, there is a cold weather game. It's Syracuse, but it's indoor.
The dome will still be chilly in there.
I mean, you could have been at Pittsburgh. You could have been at Boston College. You could have been some other place that the weather would be horrible. Fortunately, you're in the dome. And I like the fact that you get the extra 2 days to prepare for Florida. Mm-hmm. In a perfect world, i.e. last year, because of the way the calendar worked out, you had the opportunity for 2 open weeks. And we've talked about on our show your position, which I wholeheartedly agree with. If they just back the first week up, we could have 2 open weeks for every season, and maybe somebody with a sane mind at the NCAA will look at that. But nevertheless, you're getting a couple of extra days to prepare for Florida. You're playing indoors in November when it could be very bad weather outside. So I think it lines up pretty well.
Yeah, the other November game is at Miami, so I don't think we're
don't worry about that one.
Yeah, and Pitt, you mentioned Pitt. So Pitt's on the home schedule. First time they're coming to town since just about your era, 1982, the last time the Panthers came in with a quarterback named Dan Marino. So at least there's somebody new. It seems a shame, and this has to do with the cross-divisional scheduling, but you only see the teams from the Coastal every 7 years, and here we get Pitt.
Yep, and it's a rising Pitt program, so it'll be a good ballgame.
All right, he's Keith. I'm Tom, by the way. There's no blue to go with this orange, so save your emails.
He did that because he's happy about Syracuse on Thursday night before the following Saturday. He did that for Syracuse.
Because it's inside, yes. Yeah, go orange, except not that night. All right, he's Keith. I'm Tom.